I'll give you $1 million. If you can heal me, the millionaire mocked, until the boy touched him, and the impossible happened. Silas Kane once had it all, until the accident. A legend in the tech investment world, he now sat in a wheelchair, trapped within the bitterness of his own making. A finely tailored navy blue suit, a Rolex on his wrist, and gold cufflinks. None of it could hide one truth. He had become a prisoner of his own rage. No doctor, no therapy, no futuristic machine could restore the use of his legs. The world still respected him. Some even feared him, but they also pitied him. And that he could not bear. Money, once the sword that carved out his empire, was now nothing but a chain dragging him down. Each morning, he wheeled himself into the park, sitting quietly beneath the old oak tree, muttering curses at whichever god people still dared believe in. Before the fall, Silas Kane was a name that commanded reverence across the tech industry. He didn't build companies, he built empires. But one rainy night, a car crash took his legs, and with them everything that once gave his life meaning. After the accident, Silas vanished from the stage, from the boardrooms, from the lives of those who once called him friend. He fired his assistant of 8 years, shut down his charity, cut all ties, closed the mansion, everything. People still called him a crippled genius, but the truth was, he was merely a shadow of the man he used to be. Every day, without fail, he wheeled himself to that same spot in the park beneath the old oak. He said nothing, looked at no one, just sat there like a rotting statue, expensive and silent. That morning, the park was still and windless. A young black boy appeared, wearing a worn-out shirt, barefoot, holding a sack of bread. Quietly, he handed out loaves to the homeless sleeping beneath the trees. No one asked who he was, but a group of teenagers lounging on the nearby lawn sneered, "Who's that brat? Looks like a thief." Silas heard it. He didn't react, just turned away. But something made him look up. The boy was staring straight at him. No fear, no complaint, no blame. Silas felt uneasy. The feeling was like an invisible thorn. He snapped, "What are you staring at? What do you want? Go away." Elian said nothing. He simply stood there, silently. And those eyes, they seemed to pierce through to the part of Silas he tried to bury. Elian stepped forward and gently placed a loaf of bread on the bench by Silas. He didn't ask, didn't beg. He just said, "If you feed me, I'll heal you." Silas looked up, then burst into laughter. Loud, jarring, tearing through the stillness of the park. "You think you're some kind of prophet? A TikTok healer or something?" He knocked the bread off the bench, sending it splashing into a nearby puddle. A few people turned to look. No one said a word. Just the whisper of the wind and a heavy silence. Elian bent down, picked up the loaf, brushed the dirt off. He didn't argue, didn't smile, didn't retreat. He stood up straight again. His eyes never wavered, calm, still, as if his dignity lay not in how others treated him, but in how he stayed true to himself. Elian remained there, staring at Silas with the same steady gaze. But this time, his voice was lower. Almost a reminder. "You think you've lost everything, but you're still alive." Before Silas could reply, Elian continued, his voice soft but clear as a bell in fog. "My mother died that winter. Lost her job when your company downsized. She had no heater. I don't blame you. I forgive you." Silas's hand trembled. His eye twitched. Something inside him faltered, but then he jolted upright, as if forcing himself to wear the last mask of pride. "I don't need forgiveness. I need to walk." His voice cracked, but stayed hard, and Elian's eyes never changed. No anger, no sorrow, just silence, as though it was the forgiveness itself that Silas could never escape. A scream rang out from the far side of the park. A group of homeless people had been boiling noodles over a small fire when the wind blew through, catching dry trash and setting it ablaze. The flames surged, spreading to the tarp that served as their shelter. Panic erupted, people scattered in all directions. Elian didn't hesitate. He dropped his bag to the ground and sprinted toward the fire. Using his own tattered coat, he beat back the flames, pulling away the burning tarp. No one called him, no one helped, but he acted. From a distance, Silas gripped the wheel rim, ready to roll away. But then he stopped. His eyes locked onto that small back, shrouded in smoke. A barefoot boy, with no money, no power, yet he chose to risk himself to protect others. And for the first time, Silas felt a tightness in his chest, not from bitterness, but from shame. Elian quietly walked back toward him. without a word, without an expression. He knelt down and placed his small, sun-darkened hand on Silas's knee. And then it happened. A faint jolt, not painful, not searing, just a gentle warmth like a whisper of breath moving from his knee up to his thigh. Silas flinched, lurching backward, gripping the armrest. What is this? I can feel that. His voice shook, not from fear, but from the unfamiliar sensation of something alive. Elian didn't look up. He only spoke, soft as a breeze. Faith. It never died. It was just buried. Time seemed to freeze. No sound, no movement. Only an old man, motionless, and a boy whose hands awakened something deeper than nerves. Tears spilled down Silas's cheeks. Unstoppable, unresisted. They flowed as if regret had long been waiting, just needing to be released. Memories crashed through his mind, fast, brutal, unforgiving. He'd fired his longtime assistant while the man was at his child's funeral. He'd pushed a close friend out of a deal just to take it all for himself. He'd looked his wife in the eye, the woman who once held him through failure, and said coldly, "You should toughen up," on the very day she lost their first child. Silas gasped for breath, each inhale splintering like broken glass. "I've done everything wrong." Elian looked at him, not with judgment, not with pity. "That's why you have a second chance." It wasn't comfort. It was truth. And for the first time, Silas didn't resist it. He reached out toward Elian. His voice cracked, near a plea. "I have money, a car, the whole world. What do you need? Just say it." Elian didn't turn. He simply kept walking, leaving behind a single line, a final strike to Silas's pride. "Not me. Someone else needs it." Silas collapsed into the bench. His body trembled, not from pain but from emptiness. The one thing he'd clung to all his life, control, now meant nothing. He bowed his head, looked down at his legs. His hands, shaking, rested on his thighs, then pressed down, one side, then the other, bit by bit, as if some invisible hand were lifting him from within. For the first time in 3 years, Silas Kane stood. No one saw it, no applause, only the wind passing through the old oak tree, and a man rediscovering himself. 1 week later, the air turned crisp. At a small corner at the end of the street, a simple wooden sign hung in front of a 2-story building. Elian's table. Inside, Silas Kane rolled up his sleeves, wearing a plain gray t-shirt, standing behind the counter serving warm food. Children lined up, messy and mud-streaked, but their eyes were bright. With each meal he handed out, Silas asked quietly, "What's your name?" He didn't laugh loudly. He didn't act righteous. He just listened, closely, as if each name was a memory he needed to preserve. Outside, the wind still rustled through the oak leaves, the same tree under which he once sat in silence. A voiceover rose, soft and deep. Silas Kane is no longer a billionaire. He is a man who was given back his heart when he learned how to give.